saw a post that he made about it, like Trump being a grandfather figure. Do you think that because I didn't watch it per se. I watched clips. He looks, since the shooting, he looks like he's either fearing for his life on a daily basis and humbled that way, or he feels saved by grace and he's humbled because his life was almost taken. Either way, like, do you see this being like a game changer to unite this country right now because of what happened? And if he can stay alive, what do you think of this RNC the last few days and the people that have come forward, like Hulk Hogan and the Kid Rock and 50 Cent?
Well, I think if you come off non-biased, you have to look at it and say, well, he has been painted in a certain way, and the last couple of days we've seen him in kind of situations where, like, I never really saw him with his grandkids. He came across for a long time as like a grandpa who, hey, get away from me, I'm busy or something. But he came across very like normal, and maybe that is because he saw his life flash in front of him. I think we'd all be a lot more gracious of what we have if we see our life almost taken from us. I think a lot of people live with the thought of, oh, it will never happen to me, and then it happens to them, and they're humbled real quick. I thought out of the whole 4 days, and listen, I definitely have come around on Trump. I thought his speech was awful. It was way too long. I thought he could have really changed, I think, the narrative that there is on him. And I thought he did a good job for the first 5 or 10 minutes. And then it just was, okay, same old Trump.
I would have kept it 3-4 minutes, bro. I would have kept it and said, this game's over. We got this locked up. Don't say that now.
Sometimes you have to and my dad used to tell me, don't say too much, right? Yeah, let someone say it. Yeah. And you just deal with, Joe Biden is in a really bad spot. I think by the end of the weekend, Joe Biden won't be. Like, Donald Trump doesn't need to say anything.
Right. Like, I feel like, I agree with you. Like, from a strategy standpoint, his team should be telling him, hey, bro, kind of cruise control it.
He overtalks. Yeah.
You know what I thought, Smitty? I thought that all the people that he's had come forward, Black, White, Stars, Kid Rock, to the 50 Cent, to Hulk Hogan.
And real quick, 50 Cent didn't show up last night. I know 50 Cent did that thing at his concert. He did the concert thing and had the face above his body, but 50 Cent.
No, I just meant endorsing. I just meant like endorsing.
I don't think it would have fit either, 50 Cent. I mean,
yeah. I just mean people that are endorsing him now. The guys that are endorsing him is all I'm saying. I'm saying that this is what I'm saying, though. I think let those guys do your talking. Like, that's what I thought was happening, by the way. That's why I was like, he actually got some advice, and he's letting these other stars speak for him, which is going to grab the casual out here and then bring him in, and he don't have to really do nothing. He's fucking walking around he took a shot, right? He's King Dick. Like, he's the big guy right now. I wouldn't have to do anything.
Like, why don't you just accept the nomination and say, hey, I'm very humbled. I'm very thankful. I'm happy that my family's here. I accept the nomination. This is what happened. We're really going to and stick to keeping it 15, half an hour, and get off the stage. And let Biden sink himself. But you don't need to say anything. And remember, I think you're right in the terms of bringing in the Dana Whites, right? The Hulk Hogans, the Amber Rose, the people that, can grow, can grow what you're doing. We know all the people in that room are going to vote for him, right? And they're going to follow him off a cliff. But, it's addressing people like maybe Smitty, who didn't vote for Trump, right? Or someone, and say, hey, this is why you need to vote for me. We heard all the same talking points that he always has. And a lot of the talking points that he continues to put out there are not true, right? Like, he made a comment that we had world peace when he was president. That's just not true. Like, it's not true. We didn't have world peace.
I think he meant the global powers, not world peace. I don't know.
But, like, he continues to parade out the same, like, lies time and time again. And he should have just stuck to accept the nominee. I'll let Biden screw himself, because we know he will. Right?
To that point, and again, this is me speaking from a position of ignorance, which I always admit that when it comes to politics, I'm fucking bottom of the fucking totem pole. So I'm asking from an educational standpoint. The people always say Trump is just lying. He's a liar. He lied. So, like, what are some other examples? Just from my curiosity, what are some other examples of, like, clear cut lies that we're saying he's doing? Because My problem is I'm trying to listen to both sides so I can make a logical decision. But it's like you don't know. I don't know who's lying, who's telling the truth. If Biden's just saying shit, if Trump's just saying shit. So it's just I'm just listening to two sides. Well, yeah, everything sounds good. Of course, it sounds good.
Smitty, don't trust it ever.
Yeah,
I don't trust it ever.
No, but Trump lied a lot. Like he lies a lot. I mean, but Coach is right. Every politician lies, but you can't say you had world peace when I believe there were 50 armed conflicts going on in America or in the world when Trump was president. So look, is it less dangerous when he was president? Yeah, but you can't just say I had world peace and I was the greatest. But it's hard to believe anything because, as Coach has said, every politician lies.
Hey, and be honest, Jeff, I endorse Trump because I don't support what's current, and that is why. No. It doesn't mean I'm voting. It just means I'm not accepting what's going on now.
And he doesn't. Also remember, he doesn't lie like egregiously all the time. Like
he exaggerates. I exaggerate all the time.
Exactly. He'll say like, "Oh, grocery prices are up 60%." I think he said. When in terms it was only like 20%. So he'll say like, someone will say, "I killed 2 people." Well, actually, it's like 12, and I did this, and I did.
But I do. Hey, but this is the brass tacks of this whole thing. Like when we talk about like picking the lesser of 2 evils, or however you want to use the term. I do know that my bank account was fatter. I do know that gas prices were lower, and I do know that groceries were lower, and I do know I could move around a lot more freely.
But that's what I'm trying to say. We don't need Trump to tell us that. We all know that, and that's what it's going to come down to in this election. People are going to say to myself, "Okay, what's my life like now? Normal people that live, amongst us. Okay, I'm making more money back then. I got more money in my bank account back then. My 401k looks better. My gas isn't expensive as it is now." And that's always going to come down to who's in office. And I'll tell you, and I think anyone would tell you, we had better lives when Trump was in office. That's just the truth.
That's my point.
And he does exaggerate grossly. I think that's.
And you know what, Pat? But here's my takeaway. I believe passionate folks exaggerate because they're so optimistic and excited to. I exaggerate all the time with Smitty because I like having Smitty on, and I'm fucking excited. I'm optimistic. I fuck around, and we troll and do other things. We fuck around. I think overall, like the guy is excited to bring this country at least some sort of semblance to what it was when I was growing up, at least of some sort. This morning we wake up, Jeff, to a whole nother bag of worms. It seems like I don't believe in coincidences when it comes to politics. I don't believe there is such a thing. I think it's all planned, calculated, and it's on an agenda years prior to what we're seeing right now.
Coach, hold on one second. One thing I don't understand about politicians, particularly Trump, is the way they do things. So, for instance, there are certain groups of people that are not particularly Trump backers, right? So, like, why aren't we educating, let's say a Smitty? Like, why aren't we educating him on what Trump did actually do? So, like, for instance, if I'm Trump, I would go to locations, high crime areas, right? Yeah. A lot of African Americans that say, one of the most sweeping legislations I ever did was the First Step Act. And I would bring 5 people on stage that got out of prison for nonviolent drug offenses because of my legislation. That directly connects to those folks, right? It always seems like he has to exaggerate everything. Why don't you just come down to brass tacks and say, this is what I did. This is what I hope to do. He delivers. He doesn't always deliver. Like some of the stuff he said he was going to deliver on, all due respect to him, there is no possible. Like he had a guest on that claimed that they're going to go to Mexico and eliminate cartels. That's not going to happen. Okay. You're not going to attack a neighbor. You're not going to go into a country that's not yours and just start dropping bombs randomly. We don't even know where these people are. You're not going to. Yeah. Some of this stuff is just, it's weird.
Here's what I think. I think he talks in big picture things like that means to him in his mind. I'm just speaking opinion. He means shut the border down. Stop this. Stop that.
But just say that though, and like he has a PR. He has a PR. Because the just point is like he's hurting himself. People like me who's like on the fence, and I've been straightforward. I say I don't know who I'm voting for yet. Just being honest, when I'm trying to make a decision, I'm like, fuck. It's like tell me like to just point.
But
tell me what it is.
Yeah, but to me it's simple though. I'll take an exaggerator.
You simple because you already make a decision. I'm saying somebody's on the fence is not simple.
I'm just saying if I was gray area down to brass tacks to Smitty, I'm down to level 1 and I don't know shit about politics and I don't want to, and I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
I look at it like this. If I'm as smart as you are, Smitty, you're a smart fucking person.
I appreciate you.
I will take a fucking exaggerator over a motherfucking liar, which the liberals have been doing for the last 4 years at an all-time clip. I will take an exaggerator over bold-faced lies in our fucking kids' faces telling us that boys with dicks can play girls with pussies. No, that's a lie. It's not an exaggeration, bro. When the fucking Newsom puts a bill in that the state now owns your children, that is a problem, bro. That's not a fucking exaggeration.
But they also show you what you want to see, right?
Yeah.
They want what they want you to see. So, for instance, there's a comment in the chat. Look at Europe. That's the U.S. in a couple of years. What does that guy mean by that comment? What do you mean, look at Europe? Because there's a lot of countries in Europe.
London yesterday. London's fallen is what they're saying.
But here's the thing, though. If I asked you, Coach, I'm going to ask you, because I'm curious about what you will say here. What do you believe happened in Leeds, not London? What happened, and what are they showing you happened?
Yeah,
what do you believe happened?
Mass chaos, fires, burning.
Why though? Why?
Because controversy sells. That's what the media does.
And they're trying to tell you that it's Muslims doing it, right? They're bad people. Islamists are bad.
Or Israel, yeah.
They're Romanian. They're not even Muslim. They're Romanian people. There's Romani people everywhere. They're in Albania. They're in all sorts of countries. They're gypsies. They're not Islamists. But they want this. They want people like this commenter. This is not Muslim people doing this. There might be Muslim people in this video, but the people that are rioting are not Muslim. They're just not.
But they're saying there's attachments in some sort, facet, or shape, or form. That's what they're saying.
And also the problem is, it's hard to justify this when we do this here.
Yeah. We've been doing it. We're allowing our illegals right now to do it in New York, to do it in Oakland, to do it in LA. We got the protests on UCLA's campus, which you and I covered with Eddie Manyweather covering
the media, right? The media controls a lot of this stuff.
And let me go into what happened this morning, and that's why I said I let in with this coincidence thing. I don't think coincidences happen in politics. I think it's
here we go, another conspiracy theory.
No, it's not a conspiracy. This is a coincidence that people are going to say it's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence. But today, I don't know if you saw, CrowdStrike is down and Microsoft is down at an all-time high, the biggest in the United States history. And I just want to throw this out there because this is fact. CrowdStrike is owned by Ukraine, also controlled by BlackRock and Vanguard and all these other companies who seemingly 24 hours before Trump was shot at, bought 12 million stakes of stock thinking that he was possibly going to get killed. How is that coincidence to you? It's pretty ironic, bro. And now all of a sudden this has happened today. And my mom just texted me. That's why I had Bailey do breaking news. This happened right here. My mom's like, wait, the fuck's going on? I can't get my money out of ATM. And I told Smitty, I go, dude, if this is real, because Microsoft controls so much, ESPN didn't even have a show this morning, Jeff, because it was down. This is that 10 days of darkness that we see on all these different people's platforms, that airplanes are down, Jeff, right now. No flights right now. Smitty woke up like, I don't hear no planes coming over the airport. Well, guess what? Trains are down. Planes are down. Is it coincidence, though? And then Biden stepping down possibly this weekend, and he's got COVID now, and this guy gets shot. A lot of shit for 1 week, Jeff. Well, I just don't know if it's coincidence.
But see, this is where, like, I've always said, I think one of the biggest challenges we have is propaganda. And propaganda makes the world go round. Okay, so your end wokeness, groups like that.
I say false propaganda does.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Like, so there's a group called End Wokeness. It's like a Twitter group or liberal talk or whatever. They put out stuff a lot of the time that's completely not true. It's false. So I'm going to address what JB just said. CrowdStrike is an American company from Texas. Okay, I'm just saying. And they were hacked in 2016 by Russians, Ukrainian. And there was a conspiracy theory that Donald Trump threw out there that CrowdStrike was a Russian-backed company. And over the years, this has gained a lot of steam. And now it's a talking point that, oh, it's a conspiracy. It's a Russian company. And, you know, it's a company from Austin, Texas.
No, who?
CrowdStrike.
No, they're the American side. Ukraine is the originator of them.
From what I understand, that conspiracy theory was completely debunked. They're not a foreign company.
They're traded foreign. They're traded foreign, though. How can you be not foreign and traded foreign on the public foreign doc?
From what I know, they're from Austin, Texas.
No, America. That's just like Amazon. They moved their corporate headquarters to Austin, Texas. That's all that is. They're from Ukraine. They're a BlackRock and Vanguard owned group. They got 16 million shares in each one of them right there. Morgan Stanley is also involved. They got 6 million shares in them. So like that's this is a little bit deeper than just Austin, Texas owning them. They didn't create them.
Listen.
And by the way, Jeff, the guy, the back to this, why is Microsoft down, controlled by this group? Let me ask you, 10 years ago, Bill Gates' #1 guy was caught with 6,000 videos and pictures of child pornography at Bill Gates' house and was arrested by the FBI. And then all of a sudden, Microsoft goes down. Well, what Microsoft controls? Computers, access to email, all these things. Why is that a big issue, in my opinion? Well, we have some shooters that happened. Yesterday, they said there was another shooter on top of a tower. It could be a professional sniper. We don't know yet. That's still being investigated. They shut down the tower. They blocked it off with cops. And now we're trying to figure out what is all this meaning. My point is this, Jeff. I don't even think we're in the mix or the thick of all this yet. I think it's only going to get worse before this election. I think you even agree something's going to happen even worse that we're going to get prepared for is all I'm saying.
Well, listen, I think there's a lot of people that can't come up with their own argument, so they just go off of what they hear.
I agree to that.
A lot of it's propaganda. People can't disagree with anything. They will only, and I don't think like that. If someone says, yeah, Gene, that's what it is, or you just like Trump and that's how you feel. I get there are these people that would shoot themselves in the head because Donald Trump told them to do so. I'm not a fucking fanboy, like you. I'm just not.
Is. And you know, the other thing is that it goes both ways.
Look, let me ask you, does that, but see, most people, when I say, if Donald Trump told me to shoot myself in the head, I wouldn't do it. You fucking liberal piece of shit, scumbag. No, I'm not a liberal. I just don't want to do that.
Like we can't even have a real conversation because people are so one-sided that if you even say something on the other side, you're a fucking idiot.
Everyone on this panel,
I don't get it. It's like, damn.
And that's why I always say I'm neutral, I'm independent, I'm gonna think my way. I don't give a fuck. I'm not a right-winged abortion rights guy. Yeah. I don't agree with the right on the abortion side. I think a woman should make the fucking call. That's her body. That's fucking.
100%.
I don't. 100%. That's a left-leaning thinking point. I don't. But I'm not left. See what I'm saying? It's like
that's the thing. That's the thing, though. For instance, there's a lot of right-wing things. I 100% agree. We need a border where we can't just let people in and we don't know who they are. That's a real national security risk. But no one will come out and say, neighbors are right-wing. No, I also don't think women should, if they're raped, I don't think they should have to keep their child if they, or if they're underage. So let's say Lawrence Taylor had an intimate relationship with a child and she got pregnant. Some of you folks believe she should have to keep that child because they don't believe in anything. That you have to think for yourself. And most of the people don't do that. They just do what they're told.
Yeah, I don't. It's a very interesting discussion. Politics are always going to get.
And that's how you know someone doesn't know anything. Oh, he's a liberal.
Yeah, okay. Well, politics are always going to just like this. Is the thing, though. Smitty and I were talking about the other day. I can sit here and tell I'm blue in the face and tell you to vote Trump and why Biden has done this, this, and this, but you're still going to vote Biden. And the same goes for the Trump side. They're not being changed. It's not going to change, and that's just is what it is. It's like blood and crip. It's like white and black. It's like if you're pro something, very, very few people actually change and recognize I did some research and I think I was duped my whole life. I grew up Democrat. I grew up in the hood and Democrat, and I was taught, man, you got to be from the hood. You got to be left. It's Democrat. That's not the same left. This ain't the same Democratic Party I grew up in. My dad would be rolling over his grave right now if he thinks this was the Democratic Party.
And remember, if you think Donald Trump winning the election is going to change your life one fucking iota, you're still going to be a fucking loser. Okay? He ain't going to make your life better. You're not going to just get a bunch. And that's what I don't understand about some of these folks. You worship this guy. He would piss on you if you were on fire outside of Mar-a-Lago.
But here's the reason.
Your fucking head.
The only difference with Trump for me is because he's more like me regarding independent. He's not a true Republican, and the Republicans, for the most part, in the deep state, want him dead because he's not.
Been a lot more humanized recently, right?
Yeah. And he's not a true politician, by the way. That's the problem.
He realized, I'm not untouchable. They can get to me. They can get to me.
He also knows he's on a fucking ice rock by himself because the Bushes, the true Republicans, are not on his side. They don't want him. He's a money guy. He's a money man. He's a fucking economist. He's a guy that's going to just try to get people their money. And that's what America, I think, wants right now over all else.
And remember, too, okay, we'll go back to being a right or a left. Okay, there are a lot of things. I don't think we should just let criminals walk around and do whatever they want to do. I don't think there are more than two genders. Like, there's a lot of things that a lot of these liberals are the sickest people on the planet. But again, if I don't agree with everything, that doesn't make me a liberal. Oh, Nadu loves LGBTQ and he wants to kill baby. No, that's not how I feel. Okay, there are certain things I agree on, but I'm not a simp and just going to sit here and believe what these lying scumbag remember, Trump is a failed businessman. Okay, his casinos are shuttered.
Here's the thing, though. Like if we're gonna just talk like true politics and policy, like there's one party that I know for a fact has taken God out of America, taken the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance out of schools, and they've also pushed the agenda on taking your kids from you because they can actually use a pronoun or be changed sexually, and now you can't do anything as the parent. That is a left-winged, left-push agenda. There is that to me is just the straight-up slice. I'm not fucking with that. There's not even a consideration of me voting for someone that does that or endorsing or liking or that's just where I cut the line. Like, it's coming down to humanistic traits that I just can't get with. That's the number one thing that
I would love to know, there's a guy in the chat called Gene, right? And he's like a huge Trump guy. I would love to know more about his personal life and like what Trump has done for him personally. Why do some of these people have these like obsessions with these people? Like,
I was talking to my wife yesterday, and I was like, the only way I would be going so hard for anybody is if that's like my homie. If my boy Sheldon was running for president, I'd be this motherfucker. Go fucking Sheldon. But like to both of you guys' point, we don't know neither one of these motherfuckers. Number one, number two, every politician lied. Every president ever has always lied. So like, it's cool to vote for a side because you believe in their policies and what they're talking about. But to your point, Jeff, these guys like they worship Biden or they worship Trump. It's like, damn.
And remember too,
what are y'all doing?
And remember too, you know damn well, Gene, if Joe Biden's campaign knocked on your door and said, we're going to give you $1 million if you endorse Joe Biden on your Twitter account, you know damn motherfucking well you take that $1 million tax-free and shut the fuck up. So
here's the thing, though. Like,
can be bought, man.
I think if you're looking at two things, though,
it's crazy.
I look at it like this. I think Trump speaks our three language better than the left, number one. And I think all three of us could agree. If you look down and say, okay, at least one guy is more personable in certain neighborhoods that we grew up in. I just think that's my take out of it, being from where I'm from. I think more Black Americans are seeing that now, as why you've seen the uproar in Black Americans coming forward. That's what I do believe, one. Number two, I don't know if you could be a failed billionaire, in my opinion. Like, you're still a billionaire.
Good point.
So I don't think you could be a failed billionaire, and he's still a billionaire at the end of the day. And I think he's about money. meaning shut the borders down. Let's tariff China, which he did do in 20. And guess what? He was making China our bitch. Right now, we're China's bitch.
Coach, let me ask you. If the Biden campaign contacted you and said, listen, Coach JB, we loved you on Netflix. You have a big following. You have your show.
I already addressed it. No.
We need you to just go on Twitter and say, you were wrong. You're now, endorsing Joe Biden. We'll hand you $50,000. Yes, you would.
No,
yes,
I wouldn't. I've already addressed it.
What the fuck are you a patriot for?
No.
What, this country? What the fuck have they done for you?
Here's the thing. I told Smitty, I broke this down to your point. I broke this down. If Trump's team came to me, which I've had discussions with, and that's why I did the shirt, it's because I am more towards the right side of thinking. And if they paid me, yes, I would. If there's Smitty will tell you right now, I don't take endorsements or ad sponsors if I totally disagree with that take or who they are. I'm not taking them because I don't represent that. I would never represent Biden and the left for $1 million. I just want to do it. I'll make that $1 million.
This is why. Look, that's
everybody got a number though.
Everybody got a number, but they got to believe in something, Smitty, or stand for nothing. Yeah. I'm gonna stand for something before I fall for anything.
That Harry Sisson guy is a fucking jerk off.
Yeah, he's a boss. He's a boss.
But I get why he's doing what he's doing.
But he's also 21, Jeff.
Right.
Come on. I'm not. I'm 48, homie. I'm 48. So listen,
and he's smart enough to understand that once the election's over, no one's going to give a fuck about him. He's got his bag. He's got a bunch of money, and nobody cares. Why the fuck do you people care so much about stuff that doesn't give a fuck? Donald Trump don't care about you. Neither does Joe Biden.
None of them do.
Vote.
That's why I don't vote.
And guess what? If Donald Trump found out, let's say you lived in New York, you don't give a fuck about what you're going to do because you're not going to affect the election.
That's why I don't vote. And that's the reason why I would not.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
You know the one person that will know, though, after the election and all that shit, to your point? Me, myself. I'm 48. I'm not a sellout. I don't kiss ass and suck dicks. That just is what it is. I don't do it. I will never do it. If it's on my side, then I have no reason to lose. Yeah, I'm taking the money. You know what I'm saying? Like if I believe in it, I'm saying if Smitty believed in something, if it was something that benefited Smitty plus they're throwing the bag, it's a no-brainer. If it's something that he doesn't believe in and they're throwing the bag, it's at least a thought, right? You're like, Smitty has to think. Smitty has to at least say, well, fuck, do I really want to go down this rabbit hole?
Let me ask you real quick before I forget. Like you've asked this before, but I can't remember your response. I get why. So you always said you don't vote, but you did endorse Trump. Why endorse somebody that you're not going to vote for, though?
And I've said this several times because I don't support what's current. That's clearly why I'm endorsing something else.
So you would agree that if there were another
candidate, why not vote then? Why not just go vote for Trump then?
Because I don't vote. I've already said it. I've made that point. I'm not going to renege and go back. I don't vote.
You would agree though, if there were another candidate, you would consider that candidate if it were the right candidate.
Not to vote for.
You just don't like Biden. You don't like the current administration.
Yeah, I don't like the current administration. I don't like the way they think. I don't like any of them.
Okay, so if Biden was removed and let's say a new candidate who you didn't know much about came in, you would just blindly endorse Trump?
Yeah, because I already know what's going on the left. Like, who's going to be on the ballot, Jeff? It's going to be a demonic Newsom. It's going to be a demonic Obama.
But let's say it's none of those options. Let's say
it's going to be RFK. RFK. I mean,
let's say it's Robert Kennedy.
The problem is he is the most conservative liberal in the world.
What if it was Cornel West or someone like?
I don't know enough about him. I don't know enough, but I do know who pays them. That's the problem I have. See, the left is the problem.
I think JB said if it's left, then he just is. He believes that you're on the left, you're already demonic, no matter who you are.
See. Back in the day, before my dad died, and probably your dad, Jeff, too. I don't know. They voted Clinton, and that was Democratic. Democratic at that time, party. But there was a true Democratic. That was right when it started to change towards this left. Like in my opinion.
I just don't understand why so many of these flag-toting Americans care so much about this country that doesn't care as much at all about them.
This is why I don't vote. This is why I don't vote, and this is why I don't pick a side, because they'll still throw your kids in a war that has nothing to do with
and they have no problem.
This is not our country. We're not defending our country. They're throwing our kids in a war fatten their pockets
exactly
for a Ukraine war or Israel war.
And look at the money you send into them. You
don't
have to pay taxes. Where does that money go? It doesn't go back to helping people that went to war. It doesn't go to fixing roads.
No, it doesn't even help our streets and our roads.
I'm with you on that then, but I guess that goes back to me. Then it's like, and this is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but to me, based on everything you just said, then why even endorse anybody then? Again, I know your answer. Your answer is because I hate the current administration. But again, it's like you're saying two things a little bit.
Have you seen me and have I said I'm voting for Donald Trump? And I'm from a state where it matters. I think Trump is a better option than Joe Biden, but I'm not going to also sell to people that he's the end all be all. This country doesn't give a fuck about any of us. And guess what? If they could take our last dollar from us, they would.
Here's the thing, like
endorsing
what is the difference in you endorsing AR5 over Matthew Stafford? You don't get a vote. You don't get a vote in an MVP race. You're endorsing somebody because you don't like the other guy as much, right?
No, because I'm a fan of the Indianapolis Colts and I'm a supporter of the Colts.
That's the same. That's my point.
No matter what, I'm supporting the Colts, but
it's the same shit, Smitty. Like, what's the difference? You don't like the current. Let's just be honest. Let's just say you like AR5 over Minshew.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're endorsing one over the other. That's all my point is. I'm not going to vote for the current administration that I believe is doing what they're doing. I will endorse someone else. That means we need a change. That's my point. But and I think all three of us here think we need a change, right?
But coach, let me ask you. Skid Row, right? That's near you, right? Skid Row?
Downtown, yeah.
Skid Row, how long has Skid Row been there? Long time, right?
Yeah.
How long has there been homeless in New York City? This is not a Donald Trump or Joe Biden problem. This has went on for generations. We have allowed this country to be killed with fentanyl. Do you think America doesn't know how to stop that? Do you think they are all for you? And this is not a Republican Democrat thing. This is a generational problem with the way we've gotten to a point where, look at this today with this outage. There is no fucking idea what to do. There's no backup system. If my electric goes out and I have a generator, it won't matter. Why is there no backup system for this shit? Because they don't give a fuck. Nobody prepares for what will happen, and nothing will change. It's not like violence will stop. First of all, Smitty, Skid Row ain't going anywhere. Unless Karen Bass does something about it and does something about crime and makes George Gascon prosecute people, nothing's going to change. Philadelphia's been dangerous for years. And it's not because of who the fucking mayor is. It's because people can get the guns. There's no capitalism in any bad neighborhood to make money. And the only option you have is to sell narcotics. And eventually you go to jail and you're left behind. It's pretty simple. Yeah. That's not a hard thing to understand.
And to your point, and I've mentioned this before in the past when we've had these conversations. I'm young, of course, so I haven't been through a ton of presidents yet or whatever. You know, or I haven't been an adult long enough to where presidents have affected me. So, like, I'm gonna be real. Like, there hasn't been a president since I've been old enough to really pay attention to it, to where like them being in office changed my life, good or bad. Like, my life was just my life. It is what it is. Now, I will say,
if you guys
prices right now do seem high. Prices are high right now, but I'm also in LA though, and prices are always fucking high.
They're high everywhere, Smitty. They're high everywhere.
Donald Trump said last night in his speech that inflation is the highest it's ever been. That's a blatant lie. It's not. It's been way higher in the past. But I get it.
It hasn't been higher since 08. 08, the last recession we had was the highest, and now this is climbing to past that. And if we get
guess what? Who was the president then? When the recession happened, George Bush, and then Barack Obama. So again,
here's the thing, though. I truly believe this, though, as an older guy now and being able to be around and see. If you go back in time and look at the policies that were put in place to get where we are in America, to your point, where not either left or right can change it now. It's too far gone. If you look at the policies that put Skid Row where it is, put Philadelphia where it is, put Oakland and Frisco where it is, they're left policies. Let's just be real. Go back and look at the history of this thing.
I think so.
It didn't just happen, is my point.
You also can't just go around and stop and frisk and arrest everybody either, right?
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you're admitting that the paste is out the tube. You can't put it back in. But all I'm saying is if you go back and look at policy that was put in place, look at the policy that put us in these spots. If you go back pre-World War II, Black, Asian, American, white American, everybody moved with a suit on. You just go back and look. Everybody had a suit and tie on. Streets were clean. We're coming off of a World War II war. We had all these different things, and we're looking at people in general and saying, damn, America was fucking clean. It's like what we see now in China where they don't allow gum on the street or you'll get fucking castrated.
But let me ask you.
It was also whites only and blacks only too, though, JB.
Like,
yeah. Well, we cared about this land is my point.
But don't you think it's more the way people are? Because I've seen videos of like 1900 New York City. Yeah. It was clean. Everybody behaved.
But we allowed it, right?
Right. It's a way, like it's how, like, if someone eats a bag of McDonald's, they just get it and throw it out on the street. And, someone else will clean it up. Or I'm going to go to a hotel, fuck it all up and just leave. Somebody else will clean it up. It's a mindset. It's a generational mindset. I'm going to have a kid, even though I know I can't support the kid. I don't have money to support the kid. I shouldn't have the kid. But
I think you guys are missing the point. It was a mindset here. America was fucking clean as shit. Even in the 80s when I was growing up, you go to Chicago, downtown LA, it was unbelievable.
And what changed?
Somebody allowed this to happen, and somebody don't allow it in China. They don't allow it in fucking these other countries.
But what I'm trying to say is this is not going to change because Donald Trump becomes the president.
No, I don't agree it's going to change. You cannot change something that's this fucked up in 4 years.
And that stupid thing where every state can do what they want to do, that's more the problem. If there was a federal oversight where what I say goes, then yeah, maybe. But
and listen, here's the thing though. I'm gonna be honest. If you look at the history and look at what's happened, to say that our lives won't change maybe is, I don't know if it's nearsighted or short-sighted, but I don't believe that you can say it won't change. I think something will change, but I'm just saying, are all things going to be fixed hunky-dory? No, there's no president that can put the tube back in the paste. It's too long gone. Right. Trillions in debt. We're trillions in debt. We got a border issue. Me, you, and America's armies couldn't go fix a country in 4 years and try to stuff all these illegals.
And that's where I agree with you. But
it will be better, though.
But if I told you 45 minutes away, you could get gas for 7 cents cheaper, back to the price it was when, let's say, Trump was president, would you go out of your way to go get it? Does it really matter that much? No.
And that's just my point of like how fucked up.
They make it sound like you do. It's that important. Gas is so expensive. How are you going to make it cheaper?
Well, I think I'm smart enough to realize I'm going to go 45 minutes away to save 7 cents. I'm going to actually lose 49 cents because I got to drive back.
What's the opposite of if Trump comes in and ends the war with Ukraine? Then what? Just let Russia do what they want to do and take everything over? Because Vladimir Putin will do that.
I don't believe that. I don't believe Trump would allow that, though. Trump didn't allow it when he was in office with Putin. So why would he do it now? I think Trump's point is I'm going to unify America again to say that we're the ass-kicking king dicks again, which I think our American soil would want. I think we are walking on eggshells in this country thinking that we are vulnerable. I think he makes America first again, which we do not make right now under this administration. That's my point. I think America's first. That's what needs to happen. Border, inflation, fucking deal with these other fucks later because that has nothing to do with us. Let them motherfuckers kill each other off.
Let me ask you, though, what happens when he becomes president? Do you just go and find the 10 million immigrants that are already here? Do you start getting...
Like I said, you can't do it overnight. What I'm saying is you put the fear of God in some folks, though. If you get caught, guess what? You're getting killed right now. You see that some individual states are already putting it in place. You already start seeing, like Tennessee, certain people. If you get caught pedophile, they can fucking cut your dick off now. That's in America. First time ever. I love it. I love it. We need to do it more. I think that we can start putting that in and getting rid of these motherfuckers because eventually they'll leave. So, like,
but remember, we haven't taken care of veterans for years. We haven't taken tax. How long have we been complaining about taxes? Where does my tax money go? This isn't just a Joe Biden issue. What I'm trying to say is all government sucks. This country ain't what it used to be. It's not the flag-toting 1950s.
And that's the point. Do we keep sinking, or do you?
This is a generationally changed country. It's just the truth.
And that's my point, though. Like, we all do this, Jeff. You, I, Smitty. We're all looking for the next best thing because the current thing's not good. The current thing's not good. Whether it's an ad sponsor for the show, or get more subscribers, or how can I get money to do a show? We're all looking for the next best thing. So I don't think we're going to continue to just stay insane and think that this thing's going to change by doing the same shit over and over. Like, I can't think we're going to stay insane. I just don't think so. We got to go with something else. I think people voted Biden 4 years ago because they thought it was a lesser of two evils, not because of his policy.
And this time,
and then also experience as kind of, you know, at that time, Trump was like JJ Redick. Like, you know, in terms of like, he's not a politician. He ain't.
But he had money, Smitty.
Right.
And they pushed propaganda that C word was really bad. He did nothing about it. And, you know, like, let me ask you, when the George Floyd riots happened, what did Donald Trump do about it? Nothing. Because he couldn't do anything. There's nothing he could do. He couldn't go to Minneapolis and say, stop doing that. What's he do? It's a state's problem. That's the issue. And remember, too, this is how you know someone. I saw yesterday. Did you guys see that wedding in India? That really rich guy had like $100 billion wedding or whatever. Did you guys see that?
I've seen a few clips.
I saw so many comments. Why taking this money and putting it into the poor and helping the poor? Why is that his issue? If you're a private citizen, why do you have to do that? I've always wondered that. Jeff Bezos has all this money. Why doesn't he give back to his employees?
I don't know. I just think it's right or left thinking. That's it. You're either going to vote right or left. The left will dismiss the fact that Biden's son's a cokehead, uses it in the White House, has literally been a pedophile, proven. He's also a felon and convicted, by the way.
Donald Trump Jr.
But I'm just saying, Jeff, they're going to say both things and they're going to dismiss both things on both sides. You're never going to. That's my point. Like, one side's going to say this and put it in a bow. This side's going to say and put it in a bow. They both are fucked up. That's my whole point. They both have skeletons in the closet. It just comes down to who we all think is better going forward. That's it. Like, that's what we have to just.
And there's no perfect solution for anything. Like, if Trump is president, whatever, he might do a few things on the tax side or the business side that makes a certain group of people happy, but that might in turn hurt another group, or vice versa. If Biden wins, he might do something for these people. Like, there's no answer that can just solve all of American problems. We all have different problems. We have different financial statuses. We all different. So don't matter what, somebody's gonna be happy, somebody's not. So it's just kind of like that's what it is. So
yeah, but at least Trump's son runs $1 billion company. Biden's son.
No, Trump's son was lucky to be Trump's son and was handed.
Well, same with Biden. He was worth $5 million. Now he's worth fucking 100. So make sense.
And look,
y'all don't even see it. Y'all debating right now. We're trying to have a regular conversation, but both of y'all are kind of a little bit on the other side. And y'all are naturally like.
But I know Jeff. I know Jeff for the most part. If you cut down the percentages, Jeff's going to have more right-wing ideologies than left. And 100%. So am I. And the bottom line is we both understand the fact that this is a shit show. I don't trust anyone. And we are independent thinkers, which I don't believe people respect nowadays.
And this is how you debate. You losers that can't debate. Oh, go get laid, Jeff. Your haircut looks stupid. You're a Jew. They have no
data. They can't speak. They can't.
Not one of these fucking idiots will come on here and face me like a man and discuss this. Because you can't. It'll just be ad hominem. You're a virgin. You're a
and listen, I'm the biggest one that'll yell at you and all this different shit. The thing is, though, like, if any debate we've ever had, football, basketball, but at least I have some sort of data, or these guys in here and Twitter and everywhere else. You said Hitler. You're a horrible coach. Hey, they fucking have no topic of discussion, though. They have no meat and potatoes. And that's the problem. That's what these guys do. So it is what it is. Agree to disagree. I think it's great conversation. That's just me. These other folks can't do that no more because they're so brainwashed that they are stuck in their fucking way, whether it was the hood that told them, you can't ever change. And then I get out the hood and I'm like, I was lied to forever. Or you're rich in blue, or you're rich in a white collar. And then you're like, wait up. Now the Democratic Party is more like what we used to be Republican back in the day. Now it's switched. They don't want to do it. And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised in 28, Jeff, if we have full-on celebrities running for president. The Rock, Elon Musk, fucking Cuban. I'm telling you, that's where we're become. That's what we're turning into. It's getting crazy.
Remember, you can't win without endorsing the NRA or the Teamsters or this or that. So you have to to be a politician, you have to be a scum fucking bag. Just like being a lawyer. All lawyers are scumbags. They do what they have to do to survive.
And you know, the thing is, that's why it's crazy. That's why I believe they don't like Trump, because he's a scumbag in a different way. He was a money laundering scumbag, or money scumbag. Just like so many other guys that made their money are in this country.
You're fired.
This guy happened to be the president, though, and the Republicans and the Democrats did not like that.
I mean, his VP, who he just appointed, call him like Hitler back in the days, but now they cool again. Like,
but they all do. And remember, Kamala Harris and Biden were fighting on stage 4 years ago.
And remember, they have no scruples. They have no loyalty. They have no ethics.
They all want to get that spot. They want to get that spot.
Remember, too, Dana White beat his wife up. He's a scumbag.
I have no respect for him.
But they forget about that. He wants to support Donald Trump so he can be here. Hulk Hogan's used the N-word on multiple occasions. That's just the truth. But
and so is Biden. You see what I'm saying? They all do. That's the point.
And that's why I don't endorse either fucking side, because they all fucked up and I don't trust either side in summation. That's just my opinion. That's me. I mean, whatever.
And you realize none of them will actually do anything to help you. You want a real politician? I'm going to show you one. Go to El Salvador and look at their president. That's a real fucking president. Bukele. That's a real.
Let's move to El Salvador next year. We're JB Show.
You should. El Salvador. You should.